Okay, there we go. Okay.
Thank you. Got it.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
Okay, so. Morning all. Just going to put a chat line. Yeah. All right. Any new names there? Recognize them all. Okay. Right. Okay, fine. That's good. Don't need to introduce myself. You know what the score is, so I'm going to go straight over the charts. We'll start in a couple of minutes. There we are. What have I done now? Just give me a moment. Give the crowd on this side. That's better. Morning, Marcus. Just another minute. Get started on this Monday. Okay, there we are. Okay, I'll pass. We can get started. Morning all. Just give me a second. That's fine. That's all sorted. Yeah. Okay. Good. Morning all. Welcome to Monday. I'm sure we're all fairly cheerful. Felt a bit rough yesterday, so I didn't do a heck of a lot, to be honest. But anyway, got the results, which we all know about. Pretty good. So now the pressure's on the cricket team now. They've got a tough journey ahead. The Australians are woken up. They've got the Indians that seem to be favourites at the moment, and the Kiwis are always an unknown factor and pretty good. But who knows? They had a tough time, the rugby, getting through the Scottish, getting through the who else to get through? The tough one was the what was it again? Ireland. Right, they lost to. It was a tough game. And yeah, even England was a pretty tough game, as it turns out. The game turned out more as expected. Almost, you got to get the result. Defensive game, and the kicker did the business. And yeah, well, big stuff. And yeah, so everyone's a bit cheerful for the next few days. Maybe the cricket can take over from that, keep everyone in a sort of a happy mood before we start looking at Eskom and Transnet again. See, Eskom's come back to load shedding, but no surprise there. Strong articles, so we can't put these guys in charge instead of the guys we got in charge at the moment. And then we can start winning again, eh? Okay, so there we are. Right. Yeah, what can I say? not even got this one. I didn't post in my VIP group because it could actually get more of a pullback. We had a rough time on Friday. I'm a very strong believer still in the Swiss franc. I haven't changed that belief at all. However, in hindsight, maybe we got in a bit early. I don't know. It's always easy to say after the event. Yeah, if you didn't get in, you waited and you didn't get the trade out, and you'd be fed up you missed it. But it turns out there's still a bit more of a rally, but I still think it's likely to come off. So it's a bit of a pity, but unfortunately, I had a bit of a rough day of it on Friday. Well, a bit of an understatement, a very rough day. A lot of guys weren't very happy. I got some calls over the weekend saying, "What the hell's going on? You're sending crap on purpose." Well, trust me, guys, I do not. Mitigation, I thought that was the likelihood. It's still rallied a bit, but I'm still I'm buying the Swiss franc and I'm still selling AUD, GBP, NZ against it. The dollar, I'm a little bit wary of because it's so much coming out this week, as you all know. Non-farms, the ADP on Wednesday, I think it's a jobless on Thursday. And in fact, South Africa, we've got the midterm budget coming out on Wednesday, probably about 3 o'clock, South Africa, that is. And so other bits and pieces coming out. So a bit circumspect in the dollar, and it's probably a bit of sideways. I won't be the only one circumspect. It'll be sideways going forward into the week. So we'll only have a really clear indication, I reckon, after 2:30 on where is it now? On Friday. Okay, we'll do the normal. I've posted on the VIP site. We'll do the normal 2 to 3 o'clock strategy meeting for a straddle trade on the non-farms. Anyone wants to join me there? Remember, there's a maximum 100 people, so if you want to get in on there, try to come early. If you don't know how to do the straddle trade, there's no point in joining at 20 past. You won't have time to learn how to apply it. So you need to come in early so you know how to apply it. The guys who do know, not that worried about the mechanics, they've already done it before, might be an idea to come at, a reasonable time, just in case we get to 100 people and there's no more allowed in. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so that's coming up. Don't forget, GBP now is put the clocks back. So now they're on GMT, so 2 hours behind us, and New York will put it back on Sunday. So next Monday, all the fundies coming out at 3:30, and the American markets will open up at 4:30. Get the habit of remembering that. So just remind yourself of that. Just bear that in mind. 4:30 is going to be the market's US opening bell from Monday onwards. Okay, hope we're all clear that out the way. Probably mentioned it a couple of times, just a reminder, but just so you know. Okay, so I didn't post it, but one of the other things we don't want to overexpose the CHF. We had a bit of a rough time. I think some guys might still be in it because I'm still in favour of shorts on the pound, the Aussie, and the New Zealand against the Swiss franc. But if you start looking at this one, and I still see some weakness of CAD coming in, by the way, I think the Canadian dollar has got a lot of recession problems. There could be some weakness there as well. But we don't have Euro CHF, CAD CHF, CHF JPY, GBP CHF. You get the idea. Then you're very overexposed to say something goes wrong with the currency. I think 3 should be the maximum, but you can play with that. It's up to you. Don't want to miss a good opportunity just because those rules. It's not a hard and fast, but just to be borne in mind. Okay, so I still like the buy on this one if you're not overexposed to Swiss franc, but it could come back here. It's not that far. But further I looked on there, it looks about 10 or 15. It's actually 40 pips. It might come back and to the 50-day and bounce from there. That would be a good one. The stop loss we get in there or back here, obviously below the 50-day moving average, not just below. You need to give it several pips below in case of noise. But I think it's a potential one. So if you like it now, you can do it. If you don't like it now and you want to wait for a bit, I'm happy with that as well. It could come back to the 165 mark, just above it. Okay. Any question on that? We're all clear. All clear on that one? Any thumbs up or anything you want a bit more detail on it or you're not sure of? I need that feedback because I do get accused of talking a lot and not a lot, so it's too quickly or whatever. It's you need to let me know and I'll try and rephrase it. All good. Remember the Sharons and Marcus and Reynolds and Pauls, they come in quite a lot, and so some of the others, and they got the hang of it. Well, start to get the hang of it. You guys might get a bit overwhelmed, a bit frightened to put the hand up. Don't be frightened to put your hand up. Rather learn. Too scared to ask questions. You're driving the wrong direction. Well, that's not going to do yourself any favors, clearly. Okay. If you're frightened to unmute, just paste on the chat line. Just don't put in, I've got 100 rand and I can't do a trade. Why is that? I expect you to take the trouble to come to trade, and a bit of common sense will prevail. That's just being silly. Okay. Okay, so if you like it, come back to it. We're all good on that one. You are JPY. I want to look at this one as well. I think technically speaking, it's looking okay, but why am I a little bit circumspect on it? Because the euro at the moment is quite iffy. I've actually I backed the euro to a certain extent on slight strength, not against the Swiss or the dollar, that is, and probably not even against the Canadian. The Canadian's weakened a bit, but still. But it's still a bit of an unknown factor going forward. So I'm not on top of the world on the fundamental basis. And the yen's been very, very weak. But everyone's now scared to bid up too high because we've had a second or a minor one intervention coming in, which is basically telling everyone out there, don't sell the yen too much or we will intervene. And it's evidence there might be some strength coming into it. So that's why I'm a little bit wary of it. But having said that, it has retraced to this sort of support level. And at the moment, I think things change. You're slightly ahead of the yen. So it could be some upside here. So the signal was sent out. Just be careful of it because, as I say, it is a little bit iffy on both sides. But purely on a chart reading technical basis, I think there could be some upside there. And it looks like the 50 support level seems to be holding there. So if you like it, that's another one you can take. You should have had all details. I'll be posting later on my VIP group, but we won't be sending out just yet because unfortunately we've got a large amount of people coming into this business without attending trading rooms or even attending many classes. The amount of people coming on board it's quite large in comparison. People are actually looking at any of the modules or going to the classes or even attend the trading room. So for some reason they think they can train this blind because somebody says all you do is follow a signal blindly and make a lot of money. This, as you well know, is not the case. You need to know why, where, and what, like any business. But that being as it may, we won't be sending it out till a little bit later on because of the fact that people complain and say we can't get the trade in because they're not aware it doesn't open till 3:30. And it just takes our time up to explain that. We've got other things to do, especially myself. I'm not here to teach people platform training and things like that. It's to deal with people who want trading advice. And those assumptions, expected they would know that. So we'll be selling later to save ourselves a lot of hassle. But just be aware, we're looking at some upside on this. The NAS has come off quite a bit. I'm still bearish on it. I think sell the rallies, but it's one of the stronger shares. And I think there could be a bounce on this one from the 400 as it already occurred. We mentioned it last week, and I think there's a chance that maybe we can get a decent buy on this on opening. Again, you got to use the common sense. Depending on it opens up, we put the trade out at 405. If it opens up about 410, well, you missed the trade. If it opens up at 402 and is holding, moving up, then you can get in because you got a better price. Again, you've got to exercise a bit of common sense on the price. That's not to do with trading. It's just common sense on the price. You want to buy a product, but if it's too expensive, you don't buy it. It's a better price than you expected. What a pleasure. You've got to use a little bit of, like I said, common sense on it. But it depends on opening, but I see some upside on that. And they'll be posted later on. German GDP's coming out and some CPIs, so some stuff coming out. Absolutely. Most of it, again, like last week from Wednesday. Don't forget South Africa as well. Gondal, back of his name. Enoch is coming out with stuff. The midterm budget, don't forget. Gondal Wang. I just can't. I've tried and tried. I just keep messing it up. It reminds me with a place in Surrey called Godalming, and it keep reminding me of saying Godalming. Okay, where are we? Okay, okay, fine. Again, I do apologize. The guys have got smacked hard. Got a couple of nasty little WhatsApps, not nasty, but not very enthusiastic ones. Shall we say, over the weekend on it. I'm sorry, it does happen. And looking back, maybe we were a little bit quick on the trigger there to go in. Maybe we should have waited. I don't know, but it's always easy to say in hindsight. But I still stick with the strategy of buy the Swiss franc, and those are weakened currencies against it. And if anyone was stopped out, I'm sorry. There are possibility to go in again, in my opinion, for down movement. And yeah, so can look at it, might rescue it. It's happened before on the Swiss franc JPY a few weeks ago, month or two, when it was, where got stopped out, but it came down enough to buy it again, and we made more back on the upside than we lost on the down. So that worked out in the end all right. So I'm still positive on the selling of the pound, the NZD, and the AUD against the Swiss franc. And now you've got the CHF JPY as a buy, because obviously the base currency is the Swiss franc. That's why it's a buy. We're buying the Swiss franc. Okay. So, yeah, you all got your economic calendar. If you haven't, please tell me on the chat line and I'll copy and post the link for you. You need to keep an eye on it. You need to keep an eye on the dollar index. Should all have that. If you don't, let me know again. I'll copy and post. And as mentioned, if you don't have my number and you've got 2,500 Rand or more equivalent in dollars in your trading account, please let me know. I'll post my WhatsApp ID and add you to my VIP group so you get fresh off the press signals. Any updates like it was posted this morning about the non-farm session and the daily economic updates and my weekly analysis. If anyone actually reads it, I don't know. That's all posted this morning. So if you have 2.5 grand or more, why do you need 2.5 grand or more? That's the barest minimum really to give you a chance to diversify. Anything below that, a lot of the trades you can't take, you're overexposed, and you can't, if you get 2 or 3 trades, you can't do them without risking margin calling because you don't have enough capital. Trying to trade an international trillion-dollar sophisticated derivative market with 50 US dollars put in perspective, it's always going to be an uphill battle. If you don't, you don't. But if you do, rather give yourself a chance. You know what I'm saying? And you need to diversify. So this is, remember, speculative, high risk. That's why you need to spread the risk with 2 or 3 different, if we got them, trades. And you need to be on top of it as well. Modify, you know, that sort of thing. Not just going one, plant everything on it, hoping for the best. No, there's a bit more to it. I think you all realize that now. Okay, there's a bit to be learned. Take any skill, any trade, any job you're in, anything. Even a low end trade does need some skill. No problem, Gerard. Go back to it. Thanks for telling me. See what Gerard's doing is what everyone would do more often. Just bring my attention to something and we can work on it. And to say we're all here to help each other. I might miss something, the other guys might see it. And Gerard Farley are pretty good at that. I might miss something and they point it out. And that's what very, very helpful. And I need it as well. It's important. Yeah, we're looking some upside on this one. As I say, I didn't put the VIP group because I thought it would possibly come back to 165 and or 165.10, should I say. A little bit gun shy as well of having too many people in CHF trades. We got a bit of a hit on Friday on it, but I still think those trades are good. So if people re-entered 3 CHF trades on the Aussie New Zealand pound as a sell, we don't want to really go on the 4th one. That's why I'm a bit circumspect of putting it out. But having said that, I do see upside on this one. Whether you decide to wait to pull back to the 50-day support area or go in now, that is your choice. The trade, I haven't written it down, actually. I do beg your pardon. I've got it here handy. Just give me a sec to write it down. Just need to write these down. Just sorry about that. Hold up on that one. CHF, JPY, buy. Because we have our morning Zoom meetings at the office every Monday and Thursday, plus the trade room and this one. I must have forgotten to read that right down. 165.69's come off a bit. 164.75, 167.33. I'm good. And the other one was a Euro JPY as a buy. Just give me a moment. 157.94. 157 on the dot and 159.70. What's that one? 22.20 by coincidence as well. Okay, just knock that off. Okay, people got stuff to do, guys. You know, you can't always rock up at 9:30 and leave at 11, stuff to come in. So don't for a moment feel slightly nervous if stuff happens. You have to come a bit late. You might have missed something, like Gerard did. Just remind me, can we go over something again? Absolute pleasure, for sure. For sure. I mean, you know, just to say, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, your life does not revolve around 9:30 to 11 o'clock trading. We've got other stuff to do. I get that completely. So yeah, if you do miss something we've been talking about and you want to repeat it, let me know. You're going to wait on that. That's fair enough, Gerard. Could happen. You might miss it, but it could happen. Okay. That's your choice. You're a JPY, I mentioned, possibly some upside here. A little bit wary of those two I mentioned as well, these two here, but I still see it could catch some upside. It seems to be recurring. Just need to get above 158 again for some upside. It's round about break even at the moment. Keep an eye on that one. Okay, see how they go. Again, guys just joined us now. I do apologize for the CHF trades on Friday. We might have gone a little bit early. Well, in retrospect, yes, we did, but we only know that now. But I'm still happy with the trade, the strategy, buy the Swiss franc, sell the against the Swiss franc, predominantly the pound and the New Zealand, the Aussie, and obviously now we've got the Swiss, the JPY. Just be careful getting 4 trades on one instrument, however good that instrument may be, because you're very overexposed on one instrument. Bear that in mind. And number two, remember to keep free margin. Guys, you got 100,000 rand or 15 or 2 grand. You can't take all the trades. You don't have enough margin. And look at the minimum, 0.01. If it's about 200 rand for 0.01, you can't take the trade unless you got over 2 grand. Otherwise, you're overexposed. We got 2 out now, AERA and the CHF at 120. So if you got less than 1,200 rand, 1,200 rand, you can't take it because you will be overexposed. Again, guys are nervous. It's totally understandable. So as I. We all are. It's human. And they want to go in with small because they're nervous. Just bear in mind there's no problem with that, but you are very, 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 very restricted in what you can do. And the chance of being successful when you're so utterly undercapitalized is minimal. But yet, as you check it out, have no problem with that. But don't expect, this is why I do get frustrated with people expecting to win Ferrari races from the driving bicycles. That's why it's not going to happen. Don't expect to go shopping and pick and pay and start buying up your weekly shop when you got 100 rand in your bank account. It won't happen. Just use a little bit of common sense on that. Okay. It's all I'm asking. I'm saying you can put more money or not. It's entirely up to you. But don't have unrealistic expectations. Like we discussed last week, when that guy wanted to make 10,000 rand a month on 1,000. That's patently ridiculous. And if that was the occurrence, clearly, why would you put in a grand? You'd borrow from your friends, you bum the house, you go the business plan, everything. And, you know, so clearly that's just not thinking it through. It's going in with more dream than reality. It needs to be learnt, this business, and it's great stuff to learn. It's changed my life, it'll change yours. But you can't expect something for nothing. You can't get a top surgeon's money when you haven't even done a 3-day medical course. Just got to bear that in mind. Fortunately, it's a bit of grind and everything to be successful. Pity, but there it is. It's like our good old rugby team. They just walk on the pitch and win. They had to put some effort in. Okay. I didn't on mine, but it was sent to, I think, some people, yeah. But I did on mine because I thought there could be a bit of a pullback first. If it pulls back, I probably will. Otherwise, I'm going to miss it, but I'm discussing it anyway with you guys now. Okay, but I didn't put my VIP. Might work out. Keep an eye on it. And I'm sort of looking maybe guys going again on the AUD. Actually, let's go to the AUD. If you stopped out, cleave or in, don't double up. If you stopped out, I think this could come back. Look at the daily here. I think that could come back on that. So if you did get stopped out, I'm certainly far from against you going back in again. We might maybe help from a fib on this. Let's have a look. Yeah, and it's just around about the just not quite round about this 38 fib, but it's not really telling you much. But the point, I think that technically speaking and fundamentally speaking, I'd be surprised if it goes shooting up, stops you out if you do it again. That's the risk you take. I can't say that. Nobody can. It might shoot back up here for all I know. Nobody knows that. But I think we're working a viewpoint, playing the odds, error probability. I see downside on that. So if you did and you got not, you're a bit circumspect. I understand that completely. But if you're okay, I think going again. I'll be honest, I have. I'm in again on the NZ CHF and the GBP CHF. I'm in all three of them. A short. Okay, just so you know. I didn't go for this one, the Swiss franc against the JPY. I might break the rules and go for a fourth one, but I'll see. But I didn't because I'm already in three already. Okay. Are we clear on that, Gerard and Company? It must be understood where I'm coming from. Okay. That's why he kicked back. Misunderstand it. Oh, but Roger said this. No, he didn't. You know, you've got to put it. Yeah. It's quite understandable as well, especially starting. You want to know something like buy, sell at 10, it gets to 15. What a pleasure. You know, it's not quite as simple as that. Some might get to 14. It might get to 12. And then you stopped out break even or stopped out the modified. All these sort of things. There's millions, remember, people trading with different views. It's a counterpart we need. If I knew that was going to go down, I wouldn't be able to sell it because I couldn't buy it off anybody. Who would sell it to me if it's going down? And if you want to, and you want to sell something because it's going to go down, and everyone knows it's going to go down, no one's going to buy it off you. Clearly, you've got to have somebody who thinks the opposite point of view to yourself to create the market, and that's what get the ups and downs. And sometimes it can be very strange. Era's been around long enough, and some of the guys here have traded a while before, and you can say afterwards, why did that happen? And sometimes I'll say, okay, maybe this or maybe that. But other times, really, when you don't know, it's just probably just emotional market noise that just acted strangely. Remember, we're emotional characters. Just remember that. We do daft things ourselves. Okay. All right. So there it is. Something else I would look at. No, I don't. No, so I'm not. No, got to leave it. Okay. Okay. I was going to look at it, but the office says we're not going to be looking at it, so I won't. So drop that. Forget I said it. Okay, that's about all I've got for now. We can have a quick revisit of the gold and the oil in the meantime. Gold, I'm looking very much for selling. If it gets about what am I talking about? If it gets to really, might be selling it. I'm not sure. In fact, probably won't be selling it at all. No. Gold, I might be buying it rather at maybe a pullback. I'm not quite sure what, to be honest. Maybe 1980, maybe a little bit lower than that. But the problem with gold is it's a fear factor safe haven area. And as the war progresses or increases, that will have a positive effect on gold. Bearing in mind the dollar index is still quite strong, the yields are still quite high, which is a negative effect on gold. So clearly what's propping it up at the moment is that war. So it's a bit of an unknown factor. So if you want to trade it, I looked, it might pull back from a high figure of 206, 207 where it reached, but it's still too risky to sell against a strong upward trend. So I'm saying if it does pull back, maybe 1980 and the war's still going strong, maybe look at a buy, but maybe a better line. But otherwise, at the moment, leave it alone. There are factors outside of controlling the price action. You don't want to get involved in that. This is not a flick of a coin job. We want to get some skill to try and get the odds on your side. Okay, if you want to gamble, go to the casino. Brent, same story, same with WI, just happen to be looking at Brent. Brent, by the pullbacks, it's hovering. It's not a tradable at the moment. It's not breaking upwards through the 50 or the 10, and it comes off, it's holding. It's not enough, even at the bottom of that range. It's not really that much to be playing with. I suppose you could, to a certain extent, a range trade. Yeah, I suppose you could. But it's a pretty narrow range. And so I'm thinking if it comes back a bit more, people are on board, can maybe buy it. And if it gets up to 93, 94 areas, somewhere out of there, I think that would be overcooked and maybe we can sell it. But at the moment, if you're in, hold on. I'm in, I'm holding on. Otherwise, I would leave it alone. That's my take on those two. The NAS and the Dow. We'll start off with the Dow. Okay, to the dollars. I'll come to in a minute. I think that's a good purchase to buy. We'll discuss that. Okay. Dow Jones, I'm already in it. Not doing that well at the moment, but I'm sticking with it. Dollar rand, yeah. Dow Jones, yeah, I think I'm quite bearish as mentioned. Sell the rally. I'm not sure I'll be buying it now, but either buying or sell at the moment. I'll be a little bit very, very cautious because we've got so many important US data coming out from Wednesday. probably a couple in the meantime as well. But the big boys coming out on Friday, and Wednesday and Thursday, some stuff coming out as well. I think starting the meeting on the Thursday with culminating interest rate decision on the Friday. No, talk on the Wednesday interest rate decision on the Wednesday, I think it is. And then on the Tuesday, they start the meeting. But whatever. Just checking economic calendars. Wednesday or Thursday, they're having that. I just check it now while I'm on the subject. Give me a second. Interest rate decision. So look, this is getting in the way. Economic. Where is it now? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday it's coming out 8 o'clock. FOMC interest rate decision, the lot. Plus we've got the ADP JOLTS opening as well coming out. Should be anyway. Where's the 250? Yeah, ADP JOLTS open a little bit. So yeah, so there's quite a bit of noise coming out, data, fundamentals, etc. Just be careful of that at the moment. So, but I'm just giving you an overall view. I'm not tradable in my opinion, and I think the same with the NAS. I think gold, Brent, and the NAS leave alone for the moment. I think it'll go sideways. The dollar, by the way, I think be rather cautious trading for the next couple of days or so. In fact, not next couple for the whole week. I'm very circumspect. Interest rates, this will push it. Then we got the non-farms coming out, and the weekly and the JOLTS openings, job openings, and then of course the ADP coming out on Wednesday as well. Thursday jobless, sorry. So the dollar, be careful this week. Probably a bit sideways. I think just leave it alone. Canadian dollar, by the way, take note. It's going towards recession. Their social policies, a bit like South Africa and Europe and America, are not paying off at all. They're costing, but they're not producing. But I suppose that's par for the course, and they're having a problem. It's being propped up slightly by oil price, but that's a bit iffy at the moment. So Canada is dropping below into sort of the heavy middleweight area, the sort of middleweight area, the top end of the middleweight area. I think, in my opinion, slipped out of the heavyweight area. At the moment, in the heavyweight area, we got number one, the Swiss franc, and then the second, the dollar. And the dollar, it can go up and down because of much more of fundamental aspects. So just bear that in mind. So I'll be very cautious of playing too much around with the dollar till we get the news out on Friday afternoon, and they concentrate more on the Swiss franc and the Antipodes currencies, as in the Aussie, New Zealand, and maybe the pound going forward. But okay, so it might be a bit quiet with that aspect coming in. So NAS, leave it alone. That will be affected big time by the fundamentals coming out. Just giving you an update on that. Okay. Dollar rand. Yeah, I see upside on that. Even though it's dollar, I've just mentioned about the dollar, but the rand's slightly different. It isn't exotic, which means it's much higher cost, much higher margin. Don't be trading this unless you've traded it before and you've got about 4 or 5 grand upwards in your account. You got to remember, because of higher margins, higher costs, you just got to have enough free margin and be able to trade on other trades as well without using it up. And it's certainly not for guys of 1 or 2 grand. Leave it alone. Taking that into consideration, and you've traded before, you know it. I am long on it. I'm even long on it now. I know it's a dollar, but I still think, never mind a bit of euphoria from the World Cup, and then maybe the cricketers will come to the party. Let's just see. But transit 130 billion. In fact, some economists think South is going to be broke by next year. The fiscal can't get any more tax out because there's enough middle class people to pay it. Not like Europe, America, the large middle class. We've got quite a small middle class here. The poor are not paying tax, and the rich, well, like always, the rich guide their money around. So a lot of them are paying tax, but not enough of them. And if they're getting taxed too high, they leave the country and take their money elsewhere. As simple as that. So the middle class are getting squeezed, and there's not much more can be squozed out of them. Squozen out of them. So where they get it, got to borrow more. But being a risky country, they've got to pay much higher interest rates. And instead of throwing more money at these government agents and, the SOEs, state-owned enterprises, which they still seem to be doing, they're not cutting the core of the problem. As the wage bill is astronomical for most people who don't justify the job. If they were private sector, they'd have been fired. Simple as that. Like happened to Dion, do you remember? If you're in a business that doesn't make money, you got to let people go. It's the way it is. They start going on strike for more money. and most of them are not really necessary. They're a good employment agency to get votes for the government, even though most of that's not really necessary. Yeah. But they won't tackle that because it's politically too much of a hot potato. So they're not getting to the root of the problem. And there's more big money fleeing the country, and until they sort it out, it's a problem. And it's got to have transport, and you've got to have power. And those two are they want 130 billion now, the Transnet, and the fiscus, where they're going to drag it from. And there's a bit of a coup want money from, which they don't really have. So the Rand is, I wouldn't be on the long side of it. Jump around, up and down, but I see some upside on this one. It could be affected not by the Rand, by the dollar, but the fundamentals coming through. That being said, if you'd like it, the Gerard and guys understand what I'm talking about and traded before and got the funds to do it, I think along on the Rand would not do you any. I think it's a good chance for doing well on it. Okay, hope that answers your question. Oh, that's clear on all that. Remember, don't get all upset if you think I'm making political comments. I'm not. I'm discussing economical areas, and it's a fact whether you're communist or not. And it's not had a track record of being very good economically worldwide. And so it's not political comment. I'm talking purely on economics. So hope I'm not upsetting anybody there. Just trying to sort of factual economics here. I'm not heartless, but you can't help somebody if you're broke yourself. Okay. Anything else you want to discuss going through? Any trades you want to discuss? Any trade? What's your take? Yeah, GP. We've got a trade down it. A little bit nervous that I think the Japanese might strengthen a bit, but I like it overall. But I went purely on what you call it? Just get it up here first. Yeah, I went purely on what you call it, technicals, and it was the 50-day when I spoke. But I was a bit circumspect on the both of them. But I thought, for a technical point of view, I see some upside that's got posted. It's only pulling back at the moment, but I'm not sure how far it will pull back. It's a bit of support down there. The Japanese yen is still a bit weak, but don't take it up too cute with it because there might be some strength coming in. And remember, people are worried. Keep an eye on the dollar yen. If it starts carrying back, let's do that quickly. What's a dollar yen at the moment? 140. That's all right. Well, that's come off a bit. If it starts going above 150, there might be a minor, if not a major intervention again. So we're a long way away. Don't have panic on that. So a chance could be some upside there. GDP or CPI, that's sort of coming out. The German economy might not help it much, but usually it doesn't make that big an effect. Okay, we've done some European ones as well. So it's coming out today or tomorrow, and that hasn't really had a big deal either. But bearing that much, yeah, it's okay. But I'm not as if the CHFJPY was there on the support level, I'd be a little bit more confident, to be honest. But I'm okay with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have posted it. But it's not my trade of the decade. I just don't want to let me down like the Swiss ones did last week. But I think you can get your money back on the Swisses. Keep an eye on them if you want to be selling those three I mentioned against the Swiss franc. And I think, technically speaking, even though it's come off a bit, support down there could be some upside. So, Rainer, I'm still okay with it. But don't, watch your volumes. So I want you all guys what Rainer did and then. Don't have to be a new trade. We could be looking at some you're already in. Just please say, if you want to look at something, just put down a buy or a sell, or if you're already in. It makes a big difference. Don't want to say, oh, I'm looking for an entry and find you're already in, So I'm in a buy on this. What do you think? Or I'd like to buy it. What do you think? Or sell it, or whatever it happens to be. They just think, what do you think of GBP USD? Well, I think a lot of it. I like them both. Both got some nice people. So you need to be more clear on what you require. Because I do get a lot of questions asked. And I know the guy's so frightened, I think, to give any information. I got to tug it out of him or it's so circumspect it's not clear to see what they're talking about. You need to be clear and not be holding back on any information so I can get the right to the stick. We don't want to be answering the right question, the right answer to the wrong question. But I've been doing it for a while, and I'm trying to remember when I first started. I realized a lot of it is confusing. I get that. Not unsympathetic, far from it. It's easy doing it every bloody day, and suddenly you've got to remember the guy just started. Give him a break. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's look at that. Actually, might look at that. AUDs. When was that? When was the AUD? Building approval. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. NZD. That's on Wednesday. What's today? Japan industrial production. 2-star. AUD retail sales up slightly, a little get laid a little bit of strength, but the reason strength could be a bit inflation. Had a bit of a positive knock on it, but we'll see. I'm not putting AUD against the euro. You get my point. I'm putting it against the Swiss franc, and the Swiss franc indicators were slightly positive. 0.9 on the Aussie compared to 0.3, 95.8 compared to 95 of the Swiss franc. So that's slightly positive as well. So we'll see how those goes. Not enough to panic. German GDP and CPIs coming out 11 to 3 o'clock, respectively. And ending on the euro, I thought something on the euro coming out as well. Euro CPI coming out tomorrow. Okay, at 12, it's not 11. That's interesting. 12 coming out. And the Euro GDP is coming out tomorrow. So we've got some stuff coming out in the Eurozone. And of course, we've got plenty coming out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So a lot of bloody hiccups on fundamentals we've got to keep an eye out. So it'll be fairly circumspect, I think, going to this week. One of those things. You get floods or you get drought. That's life. No, Mempo. I'll leave the NAS at the moment. Just seen that. Why we're leaving the NAS? I wouldn't be buying it. I still think it's fairly bearish overall. World markets, the war's not helping. And on top of it, we got the big fundamentals coming out on the US dollar, which will affect the NAS. I think steer clear at the moment of gold, the NAS, Brent, and the Dow. Just be very circumspect on those. I'm not going to trade either of them, or either four of them, that is. AUD is bloody well going nowhere fast, actually. I've been stuck in it more than a week now. I can't remember when we got it out, over a week or so. Yeah. Is it going to come to the party? Actually, at this stage, I'm not too sure. It's not. I'm just thinking of the strategy. Hasn't it? My stop loss, leave it, but it might do. Don't think it's my stop loss. Just check. No, still in. There's my stop. Clears a short. Not doing well, but I'll stick with it. Might come right. Who knows? But I got my volumes right. If it does, it does. It's trading. I know that. That's part of the deal. You know, you will not win in every trade. And some guys, obviously, on the sales pit told them they will, and they're just starting, and they started their trading career with 2 or 3 losses to start off with. They start getting rather understandably highly fed up. And I sympathize, but at the same time, you know, they're trying to make money on something they know nothing about. Rather get a bit of knowledge on what you're doing. I've got an investment idea for you, Gerard, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Do you think it's a good idea? No, you want to know a bit about it? Hey, I'll take it, Rambo. I like it. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah. Nice one. Even you, I don't think quite as Rambo as that. I think you would like a little bit of reason as to why. Hey, yeah, I think you should buy gold. Why? Oh, I'm not telling you. And always be careful. As I said, it's too good to be true. Eh? You can make astronomical amounts of money. I get a lot of junk mail on that. I can't say I take much notice of it. If it's something so brilliant, they're going to be telling me about it. They don't even know me. Why they send me a junk email to tell me about it? Why don't they go and do it themselves? Buy all the shares up themselves. What are they telling me about it for? Yeah. That was actually, you need specialist knowledge for that. Like artwork can be good investment. By goodness, you got to know like numismatic coins. You got to know your stuff. Don't forget some fantastic returns on investments you know nothing about from a person you don't even know. Always be a bit wary. And always question why they're telling you about it. Why don't they plow in themselves? And you soon find out they don't have much money. Well, how come they haven't got much money and they're advising you? You know, just be a little bit careful. Okay. Right. Okay. Any questions? We can have a look and see if the CHF is pulling back a bit. This is another one. We don't, it's too much on the Swiss franc, and there's not enough meat on the bones to try and trade the range. 27 pips, not enough. But I think this is going to pull back as well. But we hit that Swiss franc very hard. So goes wrong. We don't want to be in half a dozen company. My VIP guys, this is looking like a buy, but maybe it'll get the bounce off the 50-day moving average. Okay. Just I'm on fiber. It just popped up. My internet's a bit unstable. I'm not quite sure why. The weather's no bloody cold for this part of the world. I'm on the south coast of Ongo, and this is going into November. It should be warm, if not hot, but it's actually quite nippy. I've got a jacket on. But whether that's other than that's okay. It's not like wind and rain. But anyway, just remember, for some reason a bit unstable. I don't quite know why. Just bear in mind. Hello, Chris. Hi, welcome. I know you're a busy guy. I get that completely. As I said earlier on, guys, if you come a bit late, it happens. You can't help it. I mean, stuff comes on. This is not the center of the world, the trade room. You know, let's be honest about it. So if you do miss something and you want to go over it again, please, absolutely. Leave it alone. Chris, simple as that. Simple answer, simple question, simple answer. Leave it alone. Too many fundamentals coming out. And buying it to me is not an option. Selling the rally is, but not with the fundamentals coming out. That could change the picture completely and make it strong again, depending on what comes out. So, NAS, the gold, the Brent, and the Dow, I suggest leaving alone going forward for this week. There's too many ifs and buts, too many balls in the air to try and get cute on those. So, yeah, those four I personally won't be trading until probably into next week. CPI, it's not next week. I checked it probably the week afterwards. We'll do a straddle trade on that as well, but you'll be notified, you'll be updated. So don't worry about that. Sorry, Chris and company about CHF. Apologize again. That was a bad one. Came back and bit badly, and but I'm still bullish on the Swiss franc, and I'm not against the guys to having another bash at it. We've done that before. It's not revenge trading. Maybe a bit early, and I don't know, get a better price, and you can maybe make that money back again. So if you want, you got the money. You're not too sort of gun shy of it, for want of a better word. I think the NZD, AUD, and the GBP are still worthwhile a short on the Swiss franc. Yeah, but it's not nice. And we have had a pretty good run, so maybe we'll get it back. But as you know, guys, you trade before this happens, just best will in the world. All you got to understand, I do not send a trade out because I think I want you to lose money. Why would I do that? For myself, if nobody else. And I go into myself anyway. So I'm advised you to lose and myself to lose. That really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is. That's very clever. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions trades have got out? Any questions trades you might like to go in, or any particular thing on the fundamental front, or anything I've missed? Come to that. Often find some of you guys pick some of my bill. Thanks very much. I missed that. I've discussed the Japanese and the Tokyo. I think it was CPI last week, and there was a difference. I learned something there myself. I think I've got a reasonable knowledge, but I haven't got 100% encyclopedic knowledge. So it's always good to learn. And I've eaten my humble pie many years ago, so I don't mind saying I don't know that, got that wrong, or whatever. Don't like it, but I come to accept it happens. We have got a potential trade going out, guys, who joined a little bit later on NVDA. I'll probably post it later on this afternoon before 3:30 opening as a buy on NVDA. So you can look at that if you want. And don't forget, pound is now, UK is now back on winter time. It's GMT, so gone back an hour. And New York will go back an hour on Sunday coming, which means it'll open at 4:30 and 3:30 for the fundies. So the next December non-farms will be at 3:30. The session will be 3 to 4, not 2 to 3. And the market opening bell on the US will be 4:30 from Monday next week. Just bear that in mind. You're already down there. I haven't got a problem with that. I haven't got a problem with that at all. I thought maybe 165, but that's good enough as well. Yeah, 164.80 down there, maybe, or even a bounce off there. Confirmed. 165 or just above, if it gets there. But anyway, was sent out to a few people. I didn't put my VIP just in case it came back a bit further. I don't want to be smacked again by being too preemptive. Okay, but I think it's a good chance. I'm not totally against going in now, to be honest. If you're not already overexposed in Swiss franc, that is. But I think you've got a better chance at AUD CHF than that at the moment. Might get a better price to buy it for sure. But if that can hold, looks like I'm a bit of a problem. Not quite sure why. Never mind what happened to this morning. That's not such a big deal. But I still think I'm seeing downside there. I think that's probably slightly a better chance. But we shall see. But yeah. So if you have already taken the Swiss franc JPY, it's not that bad a decision, in my opinion, at this stage. Probably is. I haven't bothered. I just write it down. So I'm just happy. I'm old school. I mean, I'm no youngster. I tend to write it down. Everyone does things on tablets and alerts. Probably is. If there's something in that line, just go and ask Clinton. I think you've all got his number. He's very, very jacked up on. I'll put it down for you guys. He's extremely jacked up on tech. He's a youngster. He'll be. He's forgot more about the computers and technicals than I'll ever learn. Unfortunately, not technicals on trading. I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual, technology. So I'll put it down for you. But don't badger him all the time. I mean, it's got to be, just don't annoy the guy. That's just for the sake of it. But if you're not sure about something technical, you can go straight to him. Give me a moment. Sure, he won't mind you give him a number. Say, as long as you use it, intelligently. Hello, Clinton. My MT5 doesn't work. It won't let me make a trade. There's not enough money. That's not intelligent. I don't think it'd be rude, but it'd be pretty close to it because that's just stupid. Clinton. Hope he don't shoot me down for putting it out, but yeah, he is pretty jacked on that. So he might be able to help you on there. I just write it down. I got a few. Plus, to be honest, guys, I'm in front of this damn thing all the time. And so, I'm alert to it. This is what I do. So for other guys, there are certain alerts, watch lists, and all that you can do. I haven't never played around with them. So rather get it from somebody who really knows what he's talking about. I mean, sometimes I'm not sure something about the platform. I'll ask him. I mean, obviously, I can play around with it. I can put in orders, but I mean, something or some big detail, not too good at. I'm not that mechanically minded, to be horribly honest. If you're a lady there and your car breaks down, I'm around. Panic. Pleasure, yeah. I can change a light bulb, and that's about it. NZD. Let's talk the Swiss franc at the moment. NZD I'm back in it, by the way, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. There's a short. Let's have a look. Probably easier to see on that one. Starting to try to come down. I'm back in the pound Swiss franc as well. Although I got stopped out. I still believe in the trades, just getting a better price. That seemed to be coming right. Actually, honest, I think it might be right there, Gerard. I think the only thing, because that to me was the best of the three of them, because it had the backup, the technical at this case as well. But I think it might have a little jerk in the wrong direction for the trade because whatever that was coming out this morning. But I don't think that's it's not a major thing, but it has a bit of effect. But we shall see. But it's trying to come off. So I'm back in those three. I didn't take the Chef GPY for two reasons. I'm already in 3 Swiss franc and 4th out of it. I preach it out there, now I go and do it myself, so I thought I'd stick to the rules I put out and the fact that I might get a better price. If I miss it, well, I'm happy to miss it because if I'm missing it, it means the Swiss franc strengthening and I want to do it on my other 3 trades. I'm happy with that. I'm also in the dollar rand, slight down at the moment, but I'm sitting with it with a fairly wide stop for the reason I explained. Only do the dollar rand. You got money, understand what the hell I'm on about because the costs involved. Check what I got in at. I'll tell you what I got. Let's have a look. Yeah, I got in there. Maybe I'm pushing it a bit. Even though it was up that level, technically, maybe I should have waited for more. I bagged it anyway. But it's down out the way, must stop, so I'm going to stick with it. Okay. So, Chris and that, if you do like that one, you can do it. New guys or underfunded guys, leave it. See, a guy can't long the count. When you have my number, I'm a go-to guy to point in the right direction. I have no problem with that, but that's not my particular area. So I'm just going to quickly reply to help. Okay, now just to mention by the by, I have it on my phone, the WhatsApp, and I have it on my computer, my other screen. So when you do WhatsApp in front of the computer, it's good because I can see the WhatsApp coming through very quickly. If it's a trade idea and I'm a bit slow at coming back to you, very rarely because I'm not answering you, it's because I'm checking it out before I do. Okay, okay, so it isn't on my screen on the WhatsApp as well as on my phone. Makes life a lot easier for interacting, hopefully fairly quickly. Because if you ask a question, you need an answer, not next week, like now, or as near as now as possible. Okay. I sometimes do reply over a weekend, but remember, I don't always take my work phone with me when I go out. So just bear in mind if there's hesitation on it, it's not because I'm avoiding you, far from it. I'm doing something else. But a lot of people just don't. I mean, most brokers I do, you can't get over the weekend. But I don't mind as long as it's, my regular guys especially, they want some update. But don't say this is sort of tap me, it's all rubbish. Your signals are rubbish. I'm sick of you. I mean, that's not going to help matters. And the major hassle is as well, too many people are buying to this from promise of salespeople promising the earth. You've got to remember it's a skill and you get ups and downs like anything. Even when you get married, there's no guarantees that it's going to be love and bliss for the rest of your life. You're going to get bad days. There are times when my spouse is wrong. I'm never wrong, by the way. No, joking apart, there are going to be times with ups and downs. Only kidding. Oh, sorry, Zucchini. Yes. Because they're going back an hour on Sunday, not this week, Sunday. So it only applies on Monday next week. Going back an hour. So the US Open will be 4:30 instead of 3:30, and the fundies come out will be at 3:30 instead of 2:30. So when we do the non-farms next month, it'll be 3 to 4, not 2 to 3. Just bear that in mind. When we do the CPI coming out, not next week, it's the week after, Wednesday or Thursday, wherever it is, I haven't checked. That'll be 3 to 4 o'clock session. That's a good point. Good question there, Mr. Slabert. Is there enough meat on the bones? Yeah, that's the problem. Not a lot of meat on the bones. That's the only issue I'm having. You might have to scrunch. Can we get any better? Yeah, that's my only issue with that one. It's not much of a TP. Maybe 5180. It's not 100, and not that much meat in the bones. I'll give you that, but it's still worth maybe going for if you like it. Yeah, bonga. Okay, if you say so, I agree. And any relief? Trying to come off a bit. We shall see. Anything happening with AUD? Hovering. CHFJPY. Might have missed it. The guys that took it were happy. Might have missed it. Never mind, it happens. It's another thing. You don't want to fear of missing out. Don't want to miss it. You chase it too late as well. Wait for a pullback or miss the trade. Don't try and chase it too late. And if you do, not say it's wrong, sometimes it's worth it. As long as you got your risk reward, okay. You have to recalculate. We had one person complaining not so long ago, saying it hit the stop loss and it lost more than the signal price. But they got in a very different price to the signal. That's why. Again, that should be common sense, you know. If you buy at 10 and the stop loss at 8, and then the signal said buy at 10 and the stop loss at 8, and you got an 11, clearly you're going to have a bigger risk and a smaller reward than if you bought at 10. I thought that'd be fairly obvious, but maybe it's panic or something. I don't know. Remember, the signals are there. We do our best, but can go wrong. So careful in your volumes. Make sure you've got the calculator. Go to live chat, technical support. If you haven't got it, vital. Just don't go and even we spell it out on the signal, the risks involved and the entry price as well. So it's all there for you. Just check it out. Read it properly first. Make sure. And once you've got a bit of knowledge, you can check it out. Some you're not going to take. You just don't agree with it. And it might come to trading. We might say, well, how do you go along with that? Maybe we should go on short. And we discuss it and try and give each other reasons. I don't care what the sales guys say. I'm not here to do your job for you. I'm just here to advise, hopefully some more experience. Well, hopefully a lot more, actually. And I'm qualified to do that. But it's still your business and your money. And it's still in your responsibility whether you take that advice or not. Blindly following and then blaming is not the way to go. It's your business. Remember that. Okay. And there's a bit to be learned. Don't panic. You're not going to learn this in 5 minutes. Got a couple of new people there. Just see. I see Hunley. Okay. How's it, Hunley? Good to have you. Don't be here before, traded before. Just remember, it's an interactive forum. It's not just a class. It's ongoing where we discuss practical attitudes. Don't just come in a bit late. I'm going to post it anyway. Got a few quiet moments at the moment, just in case you don't have it. The economic calendar we refer to all the time. So give me a moment. I'll post the link. Give me a moment. Yeah. That's the economic calendar. Please keep that and refer back to it, minimizing your laptop so you can see what's going on. The dollar index clearly is also important, vital, in fact. So there we are. I'll give you that. I'll discuss something most of you already know. Sorry to bore you, but I'm going to go through it quickly again. Is the yields on the 10-year note. Just want to copy and paste that as well. The yields are interest on the most traded bond or note. Okay, no problem, Sharon. I understand. Say things you've got to do. There you are. If the yields go up, it is, depending on what happens, negative for the stock market and the indices, and negative for gold. So when you get they're going up and gold still goes up, it's usually as a safe haven because there's wars and carry on. So even if the yields go up and the gold goes up, it means there's a war problem or something like that's a safe haven, fear factor as I call it. But if there's no war going on, the yields go up, the dollar goes up, the gold should come down, and vice versa. If gold goes up and yields go up, without any wars going on, the gold will come off, and the indices should come off, and the stocks themselves should come off, and of course, vice versa. I think you've all got my number, but just in case, if you have 2,500 pound or more, I can assist you going forward. Sorry, just put this down. It's not gobbledygook. WhatsApp, remember. You need a WhatsApp. It's vital. You've got to have it. Can't help you otherwise. 529-3431. There you are. You got my number there. That's only for people who've got a funded account, not demos, please. And if you have the fund as at 2.5 grand or a dollar account equivalent, let me know and I'll add you to my VIP QT WhatsApp group where you get daily updates, and things will be posted fresh there when they seem to be okay, in my opinion. I'm licensed to advise you on that. So just saw the name, well, Johanna's a first name, Foss, but I'm using Huddley, okay, because that's in brackets. I presume that's what they call you, Huddley. So there. If you have less than that, or and you're on the phone, you need to get the right equipment. But you don't have a volume indicator, you don't have a calculator for the phone, so you have to go to the App Store. But if you can, you want to make money. Thank you, Hillary. Hope we got the name right. And interact. This is what it's all about. Interact. Ask if you're not sure. Okay. So if you haven't got a laptop and you want to take this seriously, you do need a couple of things. You do need a laptop. You need decent internet connection. Obviously, you need knowledge, and you do need an account. Don't start thinking to make like the guy last week. So you make 10 grand a month on a 1,000. That's not going to happen. Be realistic. Outrageous returns on peanuts money is the things dreams are made of, but not always in reality. And don't come back, well, Joe Soap said that. And go, Joe Soap said that. You know, Joe Soap will say what he does. I'm qualified to answer, and I've got exams like integrity, which I had to pass, and I take them seriously. And if you might not like to hear what I have to say, but the chance it might have a realistic implication, just bear that in mind. Okay, so let's just march on from there. That's quite frankly our toughest job, is trying to handle unrealistic expectations, usually to extreme disappointment from people who want the sun and the earth, but they can only invest the moon. You know, it doesn't always work. Looks like that might have ships looking like might sail. I wouldn't be chasing it now, though. Is anything happening on the AUD? It's not trying to come off good. So stick with it. Pace is needed. That's another one. You need pace in this game. They're always going to get the noise. We call that the up and down, the greens and the reds. Millions of people getting in and out. It's always get the noise. Give the trade a chance. It's psychological, absolute. Happened to me, happened to everybody. When you enter a trade, you expect to go in that direction immediately. You press the button. It doesn't. It could come back a bit. It could go, and you go nice in your direction, then it comes back a bit. Always getting the up and down noise. Give it a chance. How long we'll be in, nobody knows. It could be in a day, it could be in a week, sometimes longer. Euro NZD, how long have we been in that one now? I can't remember. I've been in, I think it's definitely a week or so, maybe longer. But the point is, it depends on the market. Look at the candles. Some are smaller than the others. We can't predict what's going to happen. We have a viewpoint and we keep our fingers crossed. I'm seeing the dollar start to increase some out of the screen. So if you have 2 screens, great. If you don't, keep it minimized to check now and again. So hopefully we shall see start to happen overall. Okay, so yeah, there we are. Hope that's all clear. just want to mention as well, I've got a lot of guys are looking at other stuff, or even maybe looking at another broker or whatever. I'm not going to suggest anything like that, but it's their choice. But often it's interesting to come and ask me, what does that tell me, which I quite like, means they trust me. I'm trying to get you guys to trust me, but the downside of trusting is what sometimes come out information you don't want to hear. And that I often get that. They get quite annoyed because they're not giving the narrative they'd like to hear. But I give the narrative as best I can on a realistic basis. Okay. As people know, trust is a bit of a short supply quality worldwide. Okay, come on, AED, come off, because I'm back in it. Everyone else is still in there. NZD-CHF are in, GBP-CHF I'm in, and I want the dollar to rise, because actually at the point the ZAR. That's why I'm hoping the dollar's going to go up. Is the ZAR starting to go up at all? Yeah, hopefully start getting some movement in the north on that one. Okay, so, covered a lot of that. Don't forget, interaction is very important. The guys interact, like the Chris's, Gerard's, Farley's busy today. Those guys, we'll get it, we'll get answered. If you're not sure, don't be frightened. Please, I beg you, don't be frightened. Rather be frightened and asked, and then it comes and smacks you, sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a forum where we play as a team. And I get it wrong, and someone else sees it, then we can, we learn from each other. A lot of trades come out of this forum, which are posted to everybody else, which I might have missed and you guys pick up. So don't forget. Hope it's all clear, Hanley, and you guys here. This trade is very different. Get your car in Joburg going down to Durban. 3 hours in Harrismith, 6 hours plus minus in Durban. That's straightforward, short of accidents, that is. Not quite like that in trading. You will get the ups and downs. Give it a chance. Try not to take your profits too quick and hold on to your losses. That's the normal function. You don't want to take a loss. You hold on to it. I've got guys out there who keep putting more margin in because they're getting close to margin call with no stop loss in a trade that's going against them. And now they're in the financial douane. Have your stop loss? Sure. But if it's doing well, you can modify your stop loss. Hopefully, after a while, it'll be better than your entry. So if you stopped out, it's either break even or a slight profit, rather than just sort of taking a quick profit, and then you've got to win 10 trades, and you lose one, and that takes out all the winning trades because your TP, your profits are 10, and your loss is 100. That's not the way clearly to trade. That is emotion taking over the logic. Try and remember that. And do not, if you modify, get your stop too close. It's tempting when you start. I put it 5 pips away or 10 pips away. Might as well just take the profit then. Because you're 5 pips away, you can get stopped out in the noise. The only time I put my stop loss 20 pips away when it's nearing the TP, or I'm holding on, maybe it break through the resistance. I might half my position by banking half my position at the up front and a tight stop. Otherwise, very rare my stop close to 30 pips when I modify. You've got to give the trade a chance. The last thing you want to do is pull back, knock you out, and then it goes on and you're not on board. And you make 100 when you could have made 500 or 200 or 300 or whatever. Yeah, bear that in mind. Give the trade a chance. We put a calculator up to look at risk reward. Why bother doing it if you're going to risk 10 to make 2 or 3 every time, which often happens in the practice? That's your emotions, not doing the calculations, not doing the maths, and not understanding fully, and let your emotions run riot. It is very, 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 very difficult. I'm totally sympathetic. Been there many times. But emotions is our biggest enemy in this business. That's why I say I have got this down here. I'm not looking at trades. The most in the red at the moment, but I've done that and they come out in a fantastic blue maybe a day later. Staring at it will play with your mind. Checking it now and again, but don't stare at it fixatedly. It will give you, it won't move in you can't win it. It will do what it wants to do, but it will play with your mind. Just be careful. This is big, big mind stuff. Most of this is psychology. That's why demo accounts are worse than useless to learn how to trade on, because it's there's no money involved. So you have to learn how to operate the platform, try the strategy, teach you worse than teach you. It actually gives you a full sense of security on the demo, and then you go live. It's a completely different mindset. That's the part where the boys different to the men. Okay, so there we go. Dollar's still going up, so interesting to see when this rand starts to do its thing. Hey. Okay, right, guys. Hope that's all easy said, but difficult to implement, especially the psychology part. Very, very difficult. Totally sympathetic. Most of my losses when I started were my emotions rather than anything else. Be careful. And always remember you might prey on it. Yeah, but the problem is you might be praying, but also somebody, also a wonderful person, is praying to go the opposite direction. So why should you be looked after against the other one? Just bear that in mind. Market will do what the market will do. Cannot be controlled. I do say it a lot of times. Some people here are sick of it, but our new guys coming in, and we want to get them to understand that. But tough, yeah, absolutely, it's tough. Because remember, a lot of things we're doing today, you know, through evolution, 100,000 years, 200,000, 300, whatever it is, 1,000 years ago, didn't exist, like flying and scuba diving and all that sort of thing. Didn't exist, so the mind often battles to cope with it, but not evolutionally in our genome prepared. Okay, any questions? Anything you want to look at now? Please put it down the chat line and give me a moment. I must see the little boy's room. Excuse me a second. I've still got my Springbok jersey on. Okay, anything to look at? You'd like to look at? Anything like to ask? Anyone to go over a couple of trades we're already in? Any potential ones? I think I've covered everything need do for the moment. I made you all aware and given you the economic calendar. I'd just be very circumspect because a lot of big stuff's coming out. I think I've mentioned all that. Whilst you think of that, don't forget, save your charts, guys. Right click the blank part of your screen, go to templates, and then click on save the template. Wait a moment or two till it comes up. Put your name in there and click on the save button so that you've saved your charts. So if you do lose them, I know they sometimes just get lost, whatever. I don't know how it happens, but it does. And then you got them all saved down here, so you can get them back up again. You might want to save 2 or 3 chart systems. You've got different indicators on them. You can do that. And don't forget, if you want to find any information about the specific instrument, left click, right click on the instrument of choice, go to specifications. It'll give you the contract size, and it'll give the margin, the maintenance margin. Divide that into 100, it'll give you a leverage, and even go a little bit further down. It says full access. That means you can buy or sell it. You might say close only. It means only those guys in it can get out, but they can't open up new positions. Good till cancelled basically means a pending, not a market order, market execution. Good till cancelled means a pending order. If you put it in, it'll sit there till you cancel it. Fill or kill, something, what the hell that means. A lot of guys, doesn't really apply to us because we're quite small here, but guys overseas with very big positions, they won't have that because let's say you want to buy 100 lots or 1,000 lots or something, you might not have enough to get in at one. You'll say part will be filled, and they'll be filled as it goes on, and it can, and enough buyers and sellers to allow you. Remember, every time you're going in the market, someone's got to buy or sell it to you. You know what I mean? If there's not enough buyers or sellers there to get in that position, that price, I have to wait the price change to get more sellers and buyers in. On ours, it's fill or kill. So the entire position will be in or not in. So it's not a question you want to put in, let's say, 10 micros, 5 get filled, and the other 5 another price. No, it's all fill or in or kill, either in or out. If you want to know what that means, why is applicable only for very, very big positions. You can't get the lot in. I want to buy 1 million shares, but there's not 1 million shares available in, I don't know, Sattel right at this moment, only maybe 10,000. So I pick them up as I go along. Hope that makes sense. For sure. Hope you all got that. Remember, it's not just lines moving up and down. There's buyers and sellers actually out there who have points of view and doing things. Just remember that. CHFJPY. Is it coming off? I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now, but that's the upside, yeah. But if you missed that ship, you have. Yeah. Come to that minute, Reno. So yeah, I'm not sure I'll be buying it now. Rather try and get a better price or miss the trade. I won't be chasing it now, no. But you can if you want. I'm not saying totally wrong, to be honest. Don't overexpose the Swiss franc in other trades of Swiss franc. I very much see upside even from here. There's a decent potential to go right up to 166.70s, even those even higher. So there's definitely potential there, but see if you can get a better price, then you risk missing it. AUD USD, I'm a little bit circumspect on the dollar at the moment. Overall, I see dollar strength. I totally hear you on that one, Reno. I see upside. I see dollar strength. I agree with you on the 15-minute, beg your pardon. But my worry is fundamentals might change the situation a bit. But overall, personally, I think what's going to happen is the interest rate will not be increased. It'll stay the same, but it's more the Q&A afterwards. The non-farms coming up could affect it as well. So be circumspect with the dollar. Otherwise, I would be looking not so much as a buy here, where no, I'd be looking more of a sell, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't be selling at this stage the dollar. I wouldn't be touching the dollar actually with so much coming out at the moment. But if I did do it, I'd rather be on the long side of the dollar, definitely the long side of the Swiss franc. Going towards a little bit of weakness for the Canadian, so might not be getting to playing around the Canadian at the moment. Yen, I think a bit of strength might be coming down the line, but what that being as it may, it's still pretty weak. So I'm using the stronger ones to buy and the weaker ones like pound and AUD, NZD to sell against them. The euro is a bit of an interesting situation at the moment. So although I've got a Euro JPY out on a technical basis, I can see some bit of upside on that one. But otherwise, I'll probably be steering clear this week of the euro, the JPY, and the dollar, except the dollar round as mentioned, the reasons I gave. I'll probably steering a little bit clear of the dollar going forward because there's so much coming out from Wednesday onwards. Okay, that's my take. Hope we've all got that. Understood it. Not too quick for you. Repeat if it was. Okay, did that cover it, Simdili? I hope I pronounced it right. Yeah, did that cover the answer? Or was it a bit too quick? I have a bad habit. I'm saying talking too quick. Oh, you both got it. Fantastic. Thanks. I'll repeat again because I know I do talk quickly. Brent, I suggest staying away for the moment, and gold. I wouldn't like to be short on gold or Brent, but I'm not sure I'll be buying it here either. So if you're in, I'm quite happy that I'm still in Brent, but otherwise rather leave them alone. Good. So we've got a few to concentrate on, and there'll be an NVDA buy being sent out later on. The reason not being sent out now, I mentioned to you guys, you know the score. A lot of guys don't. They can't put the trade in. I don't know why, and it takes up our time to explain. We've got other things to do. You cannot trade an NVDA or any share at this stage of the game because the market's closed. And don't forget, you put very different volumes. You don't go to 0.01. That's because the contract size on this is 1. On Forex, 100,000. Slight difference. You get my point. So look at the signal and work it out accordingly. 1, 2, 3, 4.0, whatever. I've done 100 shares, 100.0 on Ford, F-stop, Ford. But I wouldn't be doing 100 on Forex, obviously. I couldn't even wanted to. But you get the idea. But we're looking to buy on that one. I think it's quite a strong share, despite what I said about other stuff. So if you do like it, you can look at that as a buy. But that's about the only shares likely we're going to get out this week. Good. Got a few minutes left. Anyone clarifying? Welcome, by the way, Hanali. Good to have you. We want people to come in here because for themselves, not just me. I like their ratings, obviously, but for yourself, because it's a pity to see people least afford it losing money unnecessarily just through lack of knowledge or practical knowledge when we lay it on for them. I mean, it's surprising how few people go to any classes or even platform training, yet they want to make money. You know, I want to make money as a cardiac surgeon, but I don't even go to a single class. I mean, how can that be? Yeah, Apple's coming out. I think what B&B, what do you call it? And what's the other one? McDonald's or whatever. But yeah, Apple's the one I'm worried about. So obviously steer away of Apple for the moment, yeah. I think Apple's suffering a little bit from the competition of China, where you can get your phones, particularly at cheaper prices. I mean, Xiaomi, probably a lot of them never heard of it. It's number one. It's selling cell phone in the world now, more than Samsung, believe it or not. And Apple's now about number three. I think what do you call it? What do you got? Huawei, I think they call it. That's also in the up because you get a lot of bang for your buck. So instead of paying 10 grand for a phone, you're paying 5 or 6, and they've got the same specs. But yeah, but we'll shall see. But there's a lot of brand loyalty in Apple, so don't not the company here, but just bear in mind, maybe I think the cell phone because the prices are high, you know. And it's nice to be with the money areas where you can afford that brand loyalty. Here we got to go financial loyalty, your own financial loyalty. But yeah, you're quite right, Gerard. If you have more than 2.5 grand, you will get daily updates and that will be revealed, and you'll get my weekly analysis. You want to look through it. It's on gold, Brent, and oil, basically, and the NAS. Send out to do it over the weekend, and it's posted on the VIP site on the Monday morning. So you can get a bit of update of that if you want to look. Bit to wade through, but it's there if you want it. But only for those a member of the group. How do you become a member? It's free, but you have to have a minimum of 2,500 rand. It's pointless having guys on 500,000 because they can't make use of most of the trades because they don't have enough money. And they do it. They have highly leveraged, like 5-to-1 accounts. And what they do is go over and expose, get margin called, and then they're upset. And they don't even know what a margin call is. If you haven't got free margin, your trades will be closed. It's as simple as that. You must maintain free margin. That is the collateral to keep the trade open on the borrowed money. Remember, you're putting a deposit down, margin is the rest has been lent to you. If you don't have the collateral, the trade will be closed. So it's no good saying hit me stop. It won't. If you have free margin, great. If it doesn't, you've got a problem. And trying to say, I haven't got much money, I'll increase my leverage. That just means you increase your exposure. And most people don't understand that. So they don't understand all this stuff and they still can't understand it and still bad to operate the platform. They've got to be honest themselves. Is this for them? Like I'm not going to go up Google and make IT my future because I'm not that jacked at it. You know, you've got to be honest. If you don't understand the basics of arithmetic and what the basics, and you still can't after, and you haven't, and you've been to lessons, you've got to be honest with yourself. Maybe your career should be in another field because you can battle to obviously come right. I don't expect unrealistic returns. I don't care what guys told you. You're not going to put 5 grand in and make 5 grand a month. That's impossible. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's coming up to the close. Anything final before we wrap it up till tomorrow morning? Keep a pen and paper handy. Any notes? You might see something during the day and then you can ask me tomorrow morning or whatever. And thanks, of course, for your support. That's vital. If we don't get enough support, the MD, CEO actually even threatened to close the trading down once. That's why I closed the afternoon one. Not enough support. You know, we're not going to print out a newspaper if no one's going to read it, clearly. So it's imperative you do support and, of course, gain value. Any other questions, or can we wrap it up? Got a few minutes. Do you have any questions, please? If not, obviously wrap it up. Thank you, Vilda. Any other question before we wrap it up? Hi, Dieter. Good stuff. Good to have you. Good for the support. Okay, then. Seems to be that's it then. Thank you, guys. Thank you as well for your support. Well done, the Bocker, and maybe the cricketers can do the same. Let's just see. Cheers, and catch you tomorrow. Cheers up. Cheers up. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for the support.